there's no introduction that really is needed here. I have a special guest, as you can see. Mark Hamill has decided to join us on this wonderful Friday, and I am really excited to turn it over to Mr. Hamill. There you go.
Okay, how many of you had Mark Hamill will lead the press briefing on your bingo card? Hands? Yeah, me either. And look, I just got to meet the president. He gave me these aviator glasses. I love the merch. Love it all. But listen, I just wanted to say I was honored to be asked to come to the White House to meet the president, the most legislatively successful president in my lifetime. And, you know, I don't have to go through the list, the bipartisan infrastructure law, the PACT Act, the CHIPS Act, all of that, inflation, 15 million jobs. Look, it's all good. I mean, I was really thrilled to meet the entire staff because, you know, it's not just one person. It's like a composite endeavor. And all these people, my goodness, you know, I mean, I have no idea. I had no idea just what went into what is on his plate on a daily basis. So that's pretty much it. I'm open to questions, although no Star Wars questions, please. But I want to say once again how grateful I am. And it just shows you that one person can be so influential and so positive in our lives. And again, thank you so much. And Peter Baker, I loved your book. Yes.
Wow. Thank you, Mark, for being here. What did you ask? What did you talk about with the president?
Well, first of all, I only expected to be there for like 5 minutes. He showed us all these photographs, and you know, it was really amazing to me because, you know, I was invited to the Carter White House, and I came, and then I came to the Obama White House, but I never was invited into the Oval Office, and it was a large gathering. So this one was really extra special.
All right, sir.
So yes,
If I can bring up Star Wars too, sir.
Well, you know, I called him Mr. President. He said, "You can call me Joe," and I said, "Can I call you Joe B-1 Kenobi?"
That's a good joke. I guess that's good.
He liked that. But listen, I'm not really here to dominate. I have to turn it back over to our wonderful press secretary, Corinne Jean-Pierre. So thank you all so much. All right, thank you.
Right, she's great. She's great. I thought it was kind of cool to start out, since I was starting out with something light like that. And this is definitely light, like lightheaded maybe. But here is Luke Skywalker deciding to stump for, I guess, every Democrat, since what he said he was there for. What did he say? Did he say Clinton? I know he said Obama. He said another president. Maybe it was Clinton. So he's deciding to continue what he always does, which is stump for the Democratic Party. But what's different is I can't recall. Maybe I missed it. I can't recall a celebrity actually coming into the press briefing. If any of you do, you know, please correct me. And like, I don't remember seeing like Rock, or The Rock, I should say, The Rock in the press room. Am I tripping, or does somebody remember another celebrity? If you do, put it in the chat. I'll put it up if I see it. There we go. So is this like, what part are we on Star Wars? Like number 9 or something like that? 8? So is part 8 stumping for the Empire? Is that what it's going to be? So you have Mark Hamill, who is Luke Skywalker, and it's always shocks your consciousness when you see a actor or celebrity who plays a part in a show or movie, and you have grown up or have seen that a long time. So it's only natural for us to think that they're similar to that, because that's who we know them to be. We don't know the actual person. We know the character who we think we know that person. So when you meet, let's say you just pick a person, Taylor Swift. Let's say for whatever reason you thought Taylor Swift was a nice person, all of what you see in public. And then you met her in person, and she was the complete opposite. In fact, she was kind of a piece of shit. You get what I'm saying? Like she was kind of that way. That's sort of what is happening with a lot of people in Luke Skywalker, aka Mark Hamill. It's the same sort of like, man, I wish you never came out in politics. I would just see you as Luke Skywalker. I wouldn't see you as a mindless propagandist. But there's actually a article that I want to bring up to this. Can Hollywood save Biden? So is this sort of an acknowledgement or an announcement that they're going to be using celebrities for a lot of what they do? Is that what this is about? Let's read just a little bit. President Biden's election campaign is increasingly leaning on a longtime ally to play a starring role and help him pull off a win in November. Hollywood. Let me just kind of restate this sentence, but maybe in a way that some of us would write it. President Biden's re-election campaign is increasingly leaning on longtime ally and expert propagandists to play a starring role and help him pull off a win in November. Hollywood. You see that? That's better, right? Should probably read all of our articles like this. But let's read it the way it's written first. For a record-breaking campaign fundraising weekend in Los Angeles, to a hour-long interview with famed XM radio host Howard Stern, to an appearance on a podcast hosted by actor Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, and Jason Bateman, the commander-in-chief is seemingly pulling out all these stops on the entertainment industry circuit. So remember what I said before? So we're seeing all these people, all these celebrities stomp for him. So let's take Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes. I mean, I remember the reaction to the Howard Stern interview with him, which wasn't that long ago, a week or two ago or so. And I remember the reaction was like cringe. Like people never seen Howard Stern be so cringe with a guest. And it was terrible. So that's what I reported on. I mean, it's not anything I would do a segment on, but that's what I heard. But let's continue with the article. The move to court Hollywood and get a public star-studded show of support from some of the country's biggest names could be by design. Really could be by design. You see how this is corporate media. You see how corporate media participates in the sham. Last year, Biden's camp named former DreamWorks CEO Jeffrey Katzenberg, the same guy, people, who donated to TYT, one of the top Democratic fundraisers, as one of the campaign's national co-chairs. Now, think about that. Biden's national co-chair gave something like, is it $20 million to TYT, Cenk Uygur? And Cenk is trying to say that didn't influence him. Cenk is trying to tell us that that money from a co-chair of the freaking Biden campaign doesn't have expectations of $20 million. That's what they're trying to convince you of. Absurd. Let's continue. Quote, Democrats have always had power play relationships with Hollywood that have helped raise money and generate excitement. It's part of how we do it. It's part of the sauce, said Democratic strategist Jamal Simmons, who have worked with the presidential, who works on the Biden presidential campaign. Now, I'm sorry, who has worked on presidential campaigns. This is just a strategist. I misread. Now, Simmons, I think that's how you say it, Simmons or Simons, said Katzenberg's involvement in the camp speaks to the ability to target one of the main power centers, Tinseltown. Why are you labeling Jeffrey Katzenberg as Tinseltown and not Wall Street? That's suspicious. Quote, he has those fundraising connections and he has relationships with celebrities. So having an unnamed staffer calling a celebrity is very different than having Jeffrey Katzenberg pick up the phone and say, pick up the phone, he said. Biden swings through LA in December, reportedly raised $15 million for his campaign. Katzenberg, the founding partner of is it Windsor? Did anybody? That's the acronym, but I don't know what it stands for. But maybe it's Windsor. But it's his company has described it as the most campaign cash raised in a single visit to the City of Angels by any president or the White House hopeful. Now think about this. Joe Biden is breaking all these fundraising records and it's still not enough. Joe Biden is spending already more than twice as much as Donald Trump. And then have you seen the polls? Anyway, I don't want to I was just about to interject the Social Democrat in this, but let's save that for their segment. But I can kind of briefly speak on it, but Hollywood and progressive Democrats, aka social Democrats, aka liberals, these are the stools to the propaganda chair to re-election of Joe Biden. Without like sort of the Bernie Sanders industrial complex in Hollywood, there's no way Biden can even be where he is right now in the polls. They are integral with money, that's Hollywood, and they're integral with influence, that's Hollywood, and it's also the Bernie Sanders industrial complex. But what to me is going to be very interesting to watch is them trying to thread this needle that Joe Biden is the lesser of two evils. As Joe Biden seeks the police state on protesters, the same protesters that voted uncommitted. Don't you think there's a good amount of people who voted uncommitted? They're in the same camps. So I don't understand this strategy of Joe Biden, but Hollywood is continuing to play their part. You see here, Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, just breaking Star Wars fans' hearts as he shields for genocide. Because get this, anyone who's coming out saying Joe Biden is shielding genocide. Because you can say all you want that Donald Trump has the same policy and he expresses it. But what you can't say is Donald Trump is actually carrying out a genocide right now. That's what you can't say. And no one's telling, we're in RBN, and I know no one in RBN, no one here, no one in our camp is saying to go out and vote for Donald Trump. We're saying leave the duopoly.